To support our In-Speed Now process, one of the methods to complete and submit an application is using a paper app. This presentation will give you an understanding of the content of the individual life insurance application and how to complete it with the proposed insureds and other parties that may be part of the application. Balt for Life has introduced a redesigned new business underwriting and fulfillment process called In-Speed Now. We want to offer you, our agent, and your clients an easy and valued insurance buying experience. Prior to an application being completed, the pre-app process will allow you to determine in approximately 5 minutes if the proposed insured is eligible for coverage or if a short underwriting interview is needed. This is an optional process, but it can certainly give you and your client confidence that coverage could be issued up through a face amount of $100,000 for our simplified underwritten products. Pre-app can be completed on a connected device or by calling the In-Speed Now call center. The next step to submit an application is using our JetApp process. This presentation will focus on submitting a paper application. You also have the option to complete a simplified underwritten application using our In-Speed Now call center to complete everything over the phone with you, your proposed insureds, and other parties to the application. In the near future, you will also have the option to complete an application on your connected device. No matter how you complete the application, we will use a combination of automated and live underwriting to provide you with an underwriting decision on coverage through $100,000. Finally, in the near future, the policy owner will have the option to receive either a paper copy of their policy, or the policy can be made available electronically to the policy owner on a secure website. Now let's review some of the basic information related to the products and riders that use this application. A more detailed review of our products and riders can be found in the Agent Product Guides and other training modules found on your agent portal. This is a summary of our A priority products and riders that use simplified underwriting. Simplified underwriting face amounts are starting at $2,500 and going through $100,000. Two underwriting classes, standard, which accounts for risk. Our A priority products using this application for simplified underwriting include the participating whole life product, level term, universal life with secondary guarantee, and starting in December 2019, our SilverGuard whole life product. Riders on these A priority products using the application include the accelerated death benefit, the accidental death benefit, children's insurance benefit, the guaranteed insurability option, the non-occupational disability income benefit, the single premium additional insurance rider, as well as the waiver of premium. For more information on these products and riders, you can go to our agent product guides for those details. Now let's review some basic information related to the products and riders that go through a fully underwritten process. Again, a more detailed review of these products and riders can be found in the Agent Product Guides and other training modules found on your agent portal. For the fully underwritten products, face amounts start at $100,001. We have the following underwriting classes: Preferred Plus, Preferred, as well as Standard through Table P. We offer two premium classes, non-tobacco and tobacco. Our rates are gender specific, and the application to be used is the Form ICC 178684 for the Interstate Compact approved states, and we have 5 state variations of that application. Products available for our full underwriting process with face amounts above $100,000 include our participating whole life, level term, and universal life products with secondary guarantee. Riders available are the same riders that are made available for our simplified underwritten products, including the accelerated death benefit rider, accidental death benefit, children's insurance benefit, guaranteed insurability option, non-occupational disability income benefit, the single premium additional insurance rider, as well as the waiver of premium. The application for individual life insurance can be used for participating whole life, level term, and universal life with secondary guarantee products. In December 2019, it will also be used for our SilverGuard whole life product. The application consists of 15 modules that are used to collect information for all persons that are a party to the application. Within Module 4, based on the insured's age and face amount being applied for, there are specific sets of medical questions. Option A medical questions are used for issue ages 0 through 17 with a face amount through $100,000. If you are applying for the Children's Insurance Benefit Rider, a set of A medical questions needs to be completed for each child named in the rider. If there is only one proposed insured, one set of Option A medical questions should be completed. Option B medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 18 through 49 with a face amount through $100,000. Option C medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 50 through 80 with a face amount through $100,000. The Part D questions within the Option C set should be answered if you are applying for a proposed insured over age 60 to age 80 with a face amount over $50,000. These cases will require a paramed and home office specimen. Option D medical questions should be used for fully underwritten applications with face amounts over $100,000. There are 5 basic steps that you will take to complete and submit your application. Print the correct application and forms using the application and forms package. Complete a pre-app on the primary insured using a connected device or by calling the InSpeed Now call center. This is an optional step in the process, but it can help you by providing an early indicator of the proposed insured's eligibility for coverage. Complete the application and any additional forms required. Submit the paper application and any other required forms to the Baltimore Life New Business team. If required, complete an underwriting interview with Elite Sales Processing. You will know if an ESP underwriting interview is needed by completing the pre-app or once the application is submitted to new business. If the proposed insured wants to backdate the policy issue date to conserve age, the application can be backdated up to 6 months with all premiums being paid. If simplified underwriting stacking rules are exceeded based on existing in-force insurance with Baltimore Life, a new application form 7637 will be required. As mentioned earlier, prior to an application being completed, the pre-app process will allow you to determine in approximately 4 to 5 minutes if the proposed insured is eligible for coverage. This is an optional process, but it can certainly give you confidence that your client is eligible for coverage with a face amount through $100,000 for our simplified underwritten products. The final screen of the pre-app process will display a green underwriting indicator if there are no issues with the RX rules and LexisNexis data on the proposed insured. A green underwriting indicator in most all cases should not require any additional underwriting. If you get a yellow or orange underwriting indicator, the application will require additional underwriting or simply a short interview with Elite Sales Processing. If you get a red underwriting indicator in pre-app, you can still submit the paper application, but this case will require a more in-depth review by underwriting. The pre-app process can be completed on a connected device or by calling the InSpeed Now call center. You can find more information and a demonstration of the pre-app process on your agent portal. After completing our automated underwriting process upon application submission, or using the pre-app process from your connected device or by calling the InSpeed Now call center, we can determine quickly if the proposed insured should be eligible for a quick issue or will be required to complete a short underwriting interview by phone with Elite Sales Processing. If an underwriting interview with ESP is needed, there are two ways to schedule. If the proposed insurer wants to be called directly to complete the short interview, you can schedule a date and time by completing the information request within question 9 on the agent statement within the application. To be sure the application has completed the new business submission process, an interview can be scheduled starting on the 3rd business day after the application has been submitted to new business. You will receive an agent notification message verifying the application submission process is completed and ready for the underwriting interview if needed. If you do not want to schedule an interview in this section of the app, but want to call Elite Sales Processing directly and conference your client on the same phone call, you can arrange that starting on day 3 after the app is submitted. Again, you will get an agent notification when the application submission process is completed. When the underwriting interview is completed with ESP, you will receive an agent notification message providing you with the underwriting decision and also letting you know if there are any outstanding requirements. If you were on the underwriting call with the proposed insured and ESP, the tele-interviewer will provide you with the underwriting decision. If you are not on the call, the underwriting decision will be sent by way of the agent notification process. Please communicate the underwriting decision with your client, since ESP will only provide that information with an agent present on the call. The individual life insurance application consists of 15 modules. Let's review each of these modules so you are confident in completing the application. The first module for our individual life insurance application provides you with a section to record basic personal information on the proposed insured for the base product, including name, address, country of birth, state of birth, confirmation of the applicant being a U.S. citizen or permanent legal resident of the United States. Additional information in this section includes date of birth, current age, height and weight, social security number or tax ID number, gender, marital status, driver's license or state identification in cases when the applicant does not have a driver's license, phone number, email address, and occupation. It is important that you accurately record this information, since it could be used to complete our vendor data calls, to gather prescription drug and other medical history, along with supporting our identity verification process. If you use the pre-app process, Be sure that you record on the paper application the same information you used for pre-app. For example, if the name used in pre-app was John B. Smith, this should be the same way you write it on the paper app. For the phone number, you need to identify if it is for a mobile phone. The bottom section of Module 1 only needs to be completed for policies on a juvenile. This would be a primary insured under age 15. In certain states, this age of majority could vary. If the section needs to be completed, the required information applies to the parent or legal guardian. The second module of this application is only required if the proposed insured on the base product is applying for the Children's Insurance Benefit Rider. There are spaces in this module to provide personal information on up to 8 children. If additional children need to be added, you can complete the same information in this module using the attachment to the application, Form 1483, for all additional children. For each child, you will collect their name, date of birth, current age, height and weight, gender, and social security number or tax ID number. For each child named on the application for this rider, you will need to complete the Option A medical questions. It is important to accurately record each child's height and weight in order to avoid unnecessary referrals for an underwriting phone interview. Module 3 is the proposed insured authorization that provides us with the signed consent to gather medical and prescription history on all insureds named on the application. This is also known as the HIPAA authorization. You will need to obtain the signature of the proposed insured or the parent or legal guardian if the proposed insured is under age 15. Again, the age of majority for children may vary by state. At the bottom of Module 3, you are required to list the names of all minor children to which the signed authorization applies. Please make sure that the names for each child match the names as they appear in Module 2. The application for individual life insurance can be used for participating whole life, level term, and universal life with secondary guarantee products. It will also soon be used for our SilverGuard product at a date to be announced. The application consists of 15 modules that are used to collect information for all persons that are a party to the application. Within Module 4, based on the insured's age and face amounts being applied for, there are specific sets of medical questions. Option A medical questions are used for issue ages 0 through 17 with face amounts through $100,000. If you are applying for the Children's Insurance Benefit Rider, a set of Option A medical questions needs to be completed for each child named in the rider. If there is only one proposed insured, one set of the Option A medical questions should be completed. Option B medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 18 through 49 with a face amount through $100,000. Option C medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 50 through 80 with a face amount through $100,000. The Part D questions within the Option C set should be answered if you are applying for a proposed insured over age 60 to age 80 with a face amount over $50,000. These cases will require a paramed and home office specimen. Option D medical questions should be used for face amounts above $100,000, and these cases will need to be supported by a fully underwritten process. These are the option A medical questions to be used for issue ages 0 through 17 with a face amount through $100,000. If you are applying for the Children's Insurance Benefit Rider, a set of option A medical questions needs to be completed for each child named in the rider. If you have a primary insured ages 0 through 17, one set of option A medical questions should be completed. After providing the proposed insured's name as it appears in Module 2, the answering of the nicotine and tobacco questions and all questions in Part A must be completed. Please note that the nicotine tobacco question does not need to be answered for insureds below the age of 16. The Part A medical questions are knockout questions. Any yes response means that the proposed insured would be declined. If you are in this situation, the option B medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 18 through 49 with a face amount through $100,000. The Part A medical questions are knockouts. A yes response to any of these questions would result in a decline for coverage. The Part B questions help determine potential eligibility for either the standard or special underwriting classes. If you get all no responses to Part B questions, along with all no responses to Part A questions, the proposed insured would potentially be eligible for the standard underwriting class with an acceptable RX rules review. If the proposed insured answers yes on up to 2 questions in Part B, they may still be eligible for the special underwriting class. The Part C questions provide some additional information to determine eligibility. If you receive a yes response to question 1, which is, are you taking any prescription medication for any impairment listed above, the application will need additional underwriting review using our Elite Sales Processing interview process. If you receive a yes response to question 2 related to uncontrolled high blood pressure, combined with a no response to question 2A, this application would also need additional underwriting using ESP's interview process. If you receive a no response to question 2 in Part C related to uncontrolled high blood pressure, you can leave question 2A blank. The option C medical questions should be used for proposed insureds ages 50 through 80 with a face amount through $100,000. The Part A questions for option C are knockouts. A yes response to any of these questions would result in a decline for coverage. The Part B and C questions provide some additional information to determine eligibility. If you receive a yes response to question 1 in Part C, are you taking any prescription medication for any impairment listed above, the application will need additional underwriting review using our ESP interview process. If you receive a yes response to question 2 in Part C related to uncontrolled high blood pressure, combined with a no response to question 2A, and that question is, if so, are you taking all medication as medically prescribed? This application would also in this situation need additional underwriting using the ESP interview process. If you receive a no response to question 2 in Part C related to uncontrolled high blood pressure, you will leave question 2A blank. The Part D questions for The option C, medical questions, should be answered if you are applying for a proposed insured over age 60 to age 80 with a face amount over $50,000. Any application where the Part D questions are completed will require full underwriting with appropriate home office requirements such as APS and paramedical exam. Next, we will review the questions that must be completed when applying for any of the following riders: accidental death benefit, the waiver of premium, or the non-occupational disability income rider. Any yes response to question 1 or all questions under 2 will result in a decline for the riders covered in this section. If you do get a yes response, the application will be sent to underwriting for review and possible additional consideration. There are 6 additional questions that must be completed when applying for the non-occupational disability income rider. Based on the rider eligibility requirements, the proposed insured must answer yes to question 1 and no to questions 4 through 6 to be considered for coverage. Question 2 asks, what is your current monthly gross income from occupation? Question 3 asks for the amount of monthly disability insurance currently in force. The minimum monthly amount that can be applied for is $100. The maximum monthly benefit is the lesser of the following: $2,000, 5% of the primary insured's life insurance coverage, 60% of the primary insured's monthly gross income, and just remember that all other current disability income coverages are considered in determining the 60% of income maximum. Module 5 is where you select the product being applied for along with any riders. Please be sure to not only check appropriate boxes based on your selection, but also provide amounts of coverage when a blank line is available. Of course, the rider availability is based on the product selected, the face amount, and state availability. In all cases, we will complete the underwriting process to determine first if the proposed insured is eligible for the standard underwriting class. If not, are they or could they be eligible for the special underwriting class? At the bottom of this module, if you apply for the Children's Insurance Benefit Rider, please write the names for each child identified in Module 2, along with the face amount being applied for. Please make sure that the name for each child matches how it was written in Module 2. Now let's review premium information needed in Module 6. In this section, you will indicate the premium method selected, initial premium paid with the application, including the amount authorized for EFT. If the premium method selected is EFT, you will need to indicate if the first premium should be drafted immediately. If a future draft day request is being made, it cannot be more than 30 days in advance. Of course, this date would need to be the 1st through the 28th of the month. The other draft option that can be selected is the day week of the month option. When using a paper application only, you can pay the first premium using a Visa, MasterCard, or Discover credit card. Form 5122 must be completed and signed by the payer for this type of request. There is also a box where you can indicate if this premium to be paid is coming from a 1035 exchange. If this is the source of the premium funds, Form 3332 must also be completed and submitted with the app. There is an other box in the premium information section. If you are paying premiums using salary savings or family list bill, please indicate specifics on the line provided. If you are applying for the Universal Life product and paying premiums on a short pay basis, please write your request in the open section of this module. If other completed forms are needed for these methods of payment, they should also be submitted with the application. If an owner is being named other than the insured, the information on this owner needs to be recorded in the owner section of Module 7. If an owner other than the insured is named, the owner may wish to add a contingent owner in case the owner predeceases the insured. Information on the contingent owner can also be completed in Module 7. If the policy owner wants to designate a secondary addressee to receive notification of past due premium payments and/or possible lapse in coverage, an optional secondary addressee can be selected and information recorded in Module 8. If an optional secondary addressee is not being requested, please check the appropriate box in this module as No. Module 9 provides you with a place to record the policy owner's selection of primary and contingent beneficiaries. If the owner is selecting multiple primary or contingent beneficiaries, death benefit proceeds would be paid first to the primary beneficiaries named in equal shares. Or if all primary beneficiaries are deceased, contingent beneficiaries in equal shares. If proceeds paid at death should be paid in anything other than equal shares, please request the appropriate percentages from the policy owner and record them in this section of the application. In order to support a claims process, we encourage you to provide either a Social Security number or tax ID number for all primary beneficiaries. This information is not required. Either a Social Security or tax ID number is also requested for contingent beneficiaries, but not required. Module 9 provides space for up to 2 primary and 4 contingent beneficiaries. If more names need to be added, please complete the Attachment to Application Form 1483 and submit it with the application. Next, you will complete the existing insurance replacement questions in Module 10. Following state-specific rules for the NAIC Replacement Regulation, Form 7296, the NAIC disclosure statement must be completed and submitted with the app if the policy owner's response indicate that this is a replacement based on the NAIC Replacement Regulation. You can review a full explanation of this regulation and state-specific rules using Form 5994 that can be found on your agent portal inside the appropriate product toolkit. Form 5994 will also indicate any state-specific replacement form requirements that are not under the NAIC model regulation. Module 11 requests that you indicate if the premium payer will be the owner or insured. Please check the appropriate box. If the premium payer selected will be someone other than the insured or owner, you should record the payer information in this section. After the owner, insured, and parent or legal guardian, if appropriate, review the authorization, acknowledgement, and certification in Module 12, signatures are required along with a date and location where the application is being completed. It is important to remember that the location where the application is completed is the contract state. Be sure to use this contract state when selecting appropriate forms to use. In Module 13, you need to provide information and complete signatures from the payer in order to authorize the EFT bank draft. If the payer is different than the insured or owner, we will need you to provide their date of birth, social security number, or tax ID number. Please be sure to double-check the bank routing and account numbers in order to assure an accurate EFT arrangement and draft. The agent statement is the next section to complete in Module 14, including all appropriate signatures. Please provide answers to all questions in this section. In question 8, you can write in any special instructions for billing that are not already requested within other modules of the application. Question 9 relates to scheduling an interview with ESP if required. If an underwriting interview with ESP is needed and the proposed insured wants to schedule a date to be called, provide all the information that is requested. If you are attempting to determine a date and time for an interview with the proposed insured, an interview can be scheduled starting on the 3rd business day after the application is submitted to new business. You will receive an agent notification message when the application submission process is completed and ready for an underwriting interview by ESP if needed. If you do not want to schedule an interview in this section of the app, but want to call ESP directly and conference your client on that same phone call, you can arrange that starting on the 3rd business day after the application is submitted. Again, you will get an agent notification message when the application submission process is completed and ESP is ready to take your call. When the underwriting interview is completed, you will receive an agent notification message providing you with the underwriting decision and also letting you know if there are any outstanding requirements. You should contact your client and communicate the underwriting decision. The final Module 15 of the application provides your client with the MIB pre-notice, Fair Credit Reporting Act notice, and the conditional receipt. Module 15 should be reviewed and given to your client as you are completing the application process. Just a reminder that if you are using the application and forms package found on your agent portal, you will be able to print the application and all forms needed based on the specific application you are intending to complete. Here is a list of some of the supplemental forms that could be required and should appear in the list of forms to be printed in the app package. In summary, just remember to use the individual life insurance application form ICC 178684 or state-specific variation based on the contract state for products using simplified underwriting. At this time, continue using application form 7430 for SilverGuard. By December 2019, applications for SilverGuard will use Form ICC 178684 with the C medical questions. For products requiring full underwriting, over $100,000 in face amount, use application Form ICC 178684 and the D medical questions. Fully underwritten applications can only be accepted in paper format at this time. When sending new business a paper application and required forms, use the secure file uploader process. The application and all forms can be printed from the app package that can be found on the agent portal. If you have questions, work with your agency management or support staff or your marketing organization. You can also call Baltimore Life's Agent Relations line at 877-533-2468.